So we've come down to Palmanova again for our walk this morning. It's a Sunday, 21st of February, and we're going to have a little walk in Palmanova, but we're actually going to go towards Son Caliu and Marineland. So in a completely different direction today. So come and join us on our walk and let's see where we end up. The sea's actually a little bit rougher than it has been of late. We were out yesterday and it was very calm, hardly a breeze, and it was a little bit warmer. But it's still only 10:30 in the morning, but the waves are actually crashing on the beach. And there's a few people out there with windsurfers. We've even seen some kite surfers around. But, see there's some waves crashing on the beach there. Look at that. The kite surfers in the distance. Temperatures are still quite mild, but not quite as warm as it was yesterday, but the sun is creeping through, and I expect it to get up around 20 degrees. So instead of going off into Palmanova, we're actually going to move around, and we're going to go past the port there, and then we're going to go around the headland. This walk was recommended by a friend of ours, Barbara, John. That's one of their favourite restaurants, Modigliani's, and we're going to go up around past the Punta Negra hotel, and a walk I've not actually done before, so this is one that Anita's done with Barbara.
So we might get lost.
Anita's navigating. This is the port of Palmanova. It's the Club Nautico Palmanova, and not a very big port. It doesn't take really big boats, and as you can see there's a few in here. There are plenty of berths, and what seems to be very popular, just looking down below, we've got the jet skis. We're going to go up around this headland and have a look around there. So just looking back on Palmanova, windsurfers heading off out. We're going to head just around this direction, past the Yaya's apartment, and then up to the right towards the Punta Negra. This is a one-way street. So we're going to follow the road up towards the Punta Negra, which is right in front of us. It's a hotel that's been open normally throughout the year, but this year has been obviously a different one with the pandemic, so I believe they're closed at the moment. Popular with cyclists, and they do have a bike station. In the past, it's another one of the hotels that I've been to for conferences. So we go into the car park there, and inside we've got various conference rooms.
We did sing here once.
What I wasn't aware of was that there's a path here that takes us down to the sea.
Okay. So
that's where we're going. Here's the bike station and workshop for cyclists. This is actually gated, but the gates are locked open, so we can come down here. And go down towards the sea. Not very wheelchair friendly. A lot of steps coming down here, no other access. And it is a little bit rickety. Some of the stones are quite well worn.
be careful.
Made from these moraise stones, which is like a sandstone. It's not very hard wearing. But what it does is brings us down right by the sea, which is looking a little bit rough today. Some waves crashing against the rocks. Must have been some issue here, the walls collapsed And so we now have this fence, a metal fence there, just to stop people getting too close to the edge. Gives us great views of Palmanova, and we can actually see all 3 beaches from here. This is the first beach that we would normally walk along, and then we would progress along the headland there to the middle beach, and then from the middle beach we would go past the Santa Lucia Hotel and on to the San Matias beach there. Someone was asking me about the Hawaii. Don't think we're going to get there today, but there it is in the distance. So this is actually the Ponent Mar. It looks as though their rooms there have got splendid views. We're just going to carry on along this walkway. Some steps down here to take us to the sea. I guess when the Ponent Mar's open, that gate will be opened and the guests will be able to make their way down onto this walkway and to the sea if they want to go and swim in the sea. I'm just going to move up here. Always look for holes in rocks, and here's a hole in the rocks. This is just opposite the Ponent Mar. Looks like there might be more than one hole in the rock there. This is quite a nice find, really pleasant walk right by the sea. It's a bit breezy today, so I didn't put my hat on. Somebody asked if I was wearing the hat yesterday. I wore a hat yesterday, but not today. It's a bit too windy. A place where it's been fenced off because it's a little bit unsafe, and that looks like the end of our walk by the sea. It's the path now that takes us inland, up a number of steps again, so not very friendly towards the wheelchairs or anyone who finds the mobility a little bit difficult. Some more steps and some more gates, but again the gates are open. You might wonder what these little plastic bags are for the dog walkers to take with them. And so we're out onto the road. It says no access to the beach, private. Lisa says she came down here yesterday, so we're just going to have a little look. I just walked down to the bottom of the road, but there's a gate there which is locked, which won't allow us to go onto the beach, but you can see through there that actually takes you directly onto the beach of Son Caliu. So we're going to have to walk around, but we'll walk around and we will eventually get to the Son Caliu beach. I'm just coming down to some of the bars here. This one's Penny Lane. They're doing their takeaway service until they can open again. In the news it's talking about 2nd of March being the date for reopening, so we'll see. It won't be a full reopening, it'll be opening with some more restrictions, probably terraces only, and one suggestion is they may only open during the day and not in the evening. So we wait and see. I think this Friday is the day that they're going to make the announcements, so keep a listening out for the news. The hotel in front used to be called the Palmanova. I used to visit there quite often. A friend of ours, Mr. Giner, was the manager at the time, so we spent many hours at that particular hotel. It was built especially for, or with, disabled people in mind, so lots of ramps, lots of easy access. The road just in front of us takes us up to a building on the right hand side there, which is like a centre for young people, like a youth club I suppose. We're going to go round to the right here into Son Caliu. Son Caliu, an area we've come to a lot in the past. It's one of these areas where there's lots of restaurants, some of our favourites. Maison Son Caliu just up there. Did a review of a meal there quite a while ago. And in that building there used to be a bar called Curtains. I have to have a long memory to remember Curtains Bar. It was owned by Leapy Lee. Little Arrows. We're still in contact with Lee. He's still on the island when he's not touring elsewhere, and he's still singing his Little Arrows. This is the Hotel Son Caliu, just to my right here. It takes you right down to the beach. Quite a nice 4-star hotel, nice gardens. I quite like it on the inside as well, and it has direct access to the beach of Son Caliu.
Wow.
Our children many years ago used to come here to do modelling, photography modelling. So we're getting close to the entrance now to the beach. The last time we came here it was a lot warmer, but still not very many people, and we went for a swim. This was sometime last year, so if you want to see what it's like when the temperature's a bit warmer, you might try and look that video out on the YouTube channel. It was a much calmer day, and on that occasion I do some snorkeling so you can see what's going on under the water. It's the Rincon restaurant, very popular. And this is the beach of Son Caliu. See again, the sea's a little bit choppy here. And there was a jetty when we came last time, and the jetty is now gone, so I don't know whether that's intentional or whether something's happened, but the jetty is now completely disappeared. And the waves are looking quite big here now. Luckily we've managed to find somewhere for a coffee. I've just come now down to the sea just to watch the waves coming in, and they're just crashing against the sea wall here and splashing up there. There used to be a jetty that came out. They've obviously taken the jetty away because in the winter storms I suppose it could have got damaged, but hopefully they'll bring that back. The jetty was something you could walk along, you could jump and dive into the sea. Did have steps that went down into the water. So it's a beach we will be coming back to. It was a good snorkeling beach, lots of things to see. We are going to try and walk around the headland. Not that way, we're going to try and go this way. I'm not sure how far we'll manage to get. Depends a little bit on the waves. So it's a little bit wet around that corner, I think. Every now and again we get a really big wave. Pretty often they're actually breaking out to sea. If this one was actually a sandy beach, it would be one where the surfers could come. Definitely not a beach for swimming today. Okay, so we're going to try and walk around this headland. It is a little bit uneven, and we supposedly are able to get around, but it will depend a little bit on how big the waves are as we go around the corner. To watch where you're walking. She'll keep telling me to be careful. This part looks a little bit dry, so see the waves coming in. All the seaweed has been washed up here, but that protects the sand if there was any sand here. And on a calmer day you can actually walk a little bit further around, but we're going to stop here and we're going to make our way into Son Caliu. So there's that little beach, and this is the road leads down to it. We've got apartments and houses down here, and then just to the right there's another path that we can go for a little walk along the edge of the sea. So we'll give that a go. Again, it's another path that I've not been on before. So here we are at the roundabout with the number 5 on. It's actually where the Mardaval complex starts, so the residence there, and then further up we've got the Mardaval hotel. But just to the side there's another one of these walkways which will take us down close to where that beach was where we've just been. Don't get our feet back going this way. So we'll walk down here. Some benches. This looks quite nicely kept. And we'll walk down to the sea. So we're just at the end of the walkway now, and it now becomes a little bit uneven, but we're now getting very close to the sea and just behind the Mardaval complex. So if we'd have been brave, we could actually have walked along the beach, but my guess is we would have got our feet just a little bit wet, and there are some steps to go up here. And that's where we were just a few moments ago, looking out towards Palmanova, the three beaches of Palmanova. You can see the sea is a little bit rough today. And we're just going to walk along this headland here. It really is quite pretty here, and it's a long time ago, but we did actually come here. I think it was probably with the Scouts, when it was Troop 403, the American Scouts with Rick Miller. And we had something of a party. I seem to remember Chris and Paul were here, and it was in the evening, and I'm guessing that this is where we were. It's a long time ago. You can see how the weather, we've had some really strong winds. And there's a full-size tree that's blown over there. Whether that's happened recently. Curiously, it's still looking green, yet it's not actually in the ground, or if it is, there's a very small number of roots left in the ground. Just coming around the other side, there is actually part of the tree that does go into the ground, so it has been over for a long time, and someone's been around with a chainsaw and cut some bits off. The tree itself actually looks healthy. We're now going to carry on walking around the headland. It is very uneven. There's lots of tree roots that you could easily trip over. So often you come across a place where you just have to stop and enjoy the views. Watch the waves come in, crash against the rocks. So carry on around. I'm glad I haven't got my jacket on. It's just a very pleasant temperature today for walking. It's not cold, but it's not so hot as it was yesterday. But it is still quite early, and if this wind drops, it will actually get a lot warmer. My guess is it's just in the late teens at the moment. This is actually a very pleasant walk, one which I've never done before. So Anita did a good job in finding this one for us today.
Thank you.
And so far we haven't got very lost. So we're just behind the Mardaval complex, so these are apartments, and we're just coming up to the Mardaval hotel, a very exclusive 5-star hotel, luxurious place where lots of very famous film stars, rock stars, all sorts of stars have come in the past. It is a relatively new hotel. It's been built since we've been here, so it's not one that's been here for a long time. Like the one in front of us, which is the Punta Negra, is a much older hotel.
Caterpillars in the trees, darling.
Anita's pointing out the caterpillars, the nests in the trees. One of the things I really don't like on the island are the processionary caterpillars that come out of these nests. Sometimes they walk down the trees, sometimes they just fall, but the hairs that come off them are a terrible irritant and cause rashes and allergic reactions to just about everybody, and animals too. So it's one of the few dangerous things we've got here, yet they actually look quite inoffensive. But if you come across them, give them a wide berth, leave them alone. Certainly don't play with them. And now it's turned into a country path. You could be anywhere in the forest here, surrounded by the green plants.
Myrtle.
Anita tells me it's called myrtle. I would never have known that. The path now opens up a little bit, and we're walking down. Little beach, but certainly no easy access. So here we exit and go on to a proper path. So there is a way down to the beach there. So we're going to carry on walking up the path here with the Punta Negra hotel to our right. In the past we have had functions there for the Masons. We've even had lodge meetings at the Punta Negra. That's the path we've just come up from, and this is the road that takes you down to the entrance of the Punta Negra. So we're going to head back towards Palmanova. Across the other side of the road we've got the beautiful yellow flowers out now, this time of the year in February, and some of the trees have got the blossom on as well. We're going to head back this way, heading back into Son Caliu, and this is one of the walkways that you see in many parts of Calvia. Goes beside the road. Interesting sculptures. This is the apartments we were talking about. But these walkways are really quite good for the people who live here. It's a great place for us to go for a walk. It's safe, and the road's the other side of these bushes and trees. So it's a great place to take children, and along the way there are some little activities for the children, for the adults, or you can just enjoy the plants and the flowers. So these exercise machines we're coming up to are adult machines. See them in many parts of the island. They are actually cordoned off today. Under normal circumstances you'd be able to use these. Adults, over 15, 16-year-old people, be able to use them for exercise. They do a great job here looking after the plants. It's all nicely trimmed. Some lovely colours. You come at different times of the year. Different things are in bloom. Lots of different colours to see. And the trees here on our left, when they start, the leaves start to appear on them, they will start to give you some shade, so that walking along here in the summer when it gets really hot becomes a little bit more comfortable. A little bit of colour here.
Rosemary.
So besides the adult activities, we have some children activities as well. Again, these have still got the tape suggesting that they're not supposed to be used. Yet in other parts we've seen playground apparatus that the children are free to use. So there's a little bit of inconsistency there. We are in Calvia. You can expect all the rules to be the same, but that clearly isn't so. Some more exercise machinery. It's a little bit hazy today. There's just a thin layer of cloud stopping the sun penetrating, and that's just taking the heat off, which is great for walking, so we can't complain. We're across the road now, and it's the walkway, and on this side we have Mercadona, one of the big supermarkets we use quite often. We're heading back now towards Palmanova. Across the road we've got the Olivia apartments. So this is a restaurant across the road. Most people will know as the restaurant Maison Son Caliu. It did change its name to Al Carbon, but then changed back to Maison Son Caliu, so it still says Al Carbon, but they've gone back to doing the menu del dia, which is, we've always found excellent value, and it's a place we go to quite often. Earlier in the video I mentioned this cultural centre. We walked around the back of it. This is the other side now, it's on the main road. It was originally aimed at younger people, not sure how it functions anymore. It's a cultural centre set up by the Ayuntamiento, the town council. And just next to it is the hotel complex that used to again be called the Voronova. I'm not sure what it's called now, I think it might have changed its name. Now I can see the sign, it's the Hotel Sol. I say I see the sign, it's just disappeared behind the trees. So it's the Ibasol Son Caliu 4-star hotel. I haven't been there for a long time, but it used to be a very nice hotel inside. These are one of our local petrol stations. Busy as ever. Just out of interest, some of you might be curious. Diesel, standard diesel is 124.5 euros for a litre, and 95 petrol is 134.9. So that'll give you some idea to compare prices. Just coming up to a restaurant on the left, which is El Cruce. They do a menu del dia, but we go to El Cruce usually for their paella. It's one of the restaurants we really enjoy the paellas there. They do a variety of paellas. But, we tend to have the blind paella, which is one without all the bones and fiddly bits. Much better with the children and Anita. The road to the right takes us up to Club de Hielo. Club de Hielo is the big building to the left there, where our children used to go for ballet lessons or swimming lessons. There's a lovely swimming pool at the back there. It was actually going to be an ice skating ring, but it never actually happened. That's why it's called Club de Hielo. There used to be a nightclub there. That was not too successful, and that closed eventually. Offices at the far end, lawyers' offices and the like, gestores. And then this side we've got a furniture type shop. So it's got a bit of a mixed bag, but somewhere we used to visit a lot in the past. And just up that road also we have Lidl, the supermarket. We're going to head back down. This road takes us now down to Palmanova. I'm just looking at the grass here thinking, wow, that looks pretty good. I think it's astroturf. We're actually very close to a school. I'm curious that they've actually laid astroturf here. Here we've got on the right hand side, we've got the restaurant Son Caliu, another place that does cheap menu del dia, and you can sit outside. So once the restrictions end, that will be another place for us to visit. We saw some Telefonica offices yesterday. There's another one. They all seem to be abandoned. And then just beyond that is the Palmanova school. So this area's been fenced off just so the young children don't accidentally run off into the road. I hope you've enjoyed our little walk around Palmanova and Son Caliu, sort of a different area that we've walked today. If you've enjoyed it, please share it with your friends so everybody can have a look. Don't forget to subscribe, and you can give us a thumbs up as well if you like. And any comments will be greatly received, and we'll try to answer all of your comments. If you've got any questions, we can try to answer. We don't have all the answers, but we can always try. See you in the next video. Bye.
Had a lovely walk. Bye.